Hi there, Catherine Guidry here, and today we're going to be talking all about how to better your posing so that you get better images and raving client reviews. Thank you so much for joining me again today for more value-based photography content to help you grow a business and life that you love. If you are interested in learning about my personal go-to wedding day poses, be sure to download my posing guide in the description below. When I first started my business, I used to think that if I told a couple to go off in the distance and act natural, that they would know exactly what to do. But what I quickly discovered is that by asking someone to act naturally, the last thing that they do is that request. People just don't know how to act naturally when someone's watching or photographing them. And so I believe it's our job to either create an experience or an environment or to give them specific instructions in order to get really beautiful, natural looking photos. Okay, so how do we do that? The first thing I want to advise you to do is to use yourself as a mirror. So for example, if you're telling the client to turn their head to the right, don't just say, turn your head to the right. You're looking at them, you want their head to turn, and you want their head to turn to the right, and so I'm gonna turn my head to the left so that I am mirroring what they should do. It makes it very easy for someone who's trying to be posed to understand what to do if they can see it and they can just mirror what you do. Think about like when you go to the gym and you're doing a dance workout or a body pump. They're gonna tell you what to do by doing it, and you're gonna mirror their actions. So it's the same thing with posing. Secondly, you wanna show them exactly how to pose. So if you want her to turn into him and have her head down and her eyes down, I'll show that as I'm telling her. I'll say, okay, and as you spin into him, turn your head to the side, have your eyes down, and I'm actually acting it out as I'm showing them the move. Even if it's, you know, an opposite gender, if I'm kind of emulating what the men need to do, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna slide my hand into the pocket and I'm doing it as I'm describing so that they can see exactly what they need to do. It just makes it so much more easy when we can visualize things. The third thing is gonna be using your hands to especially point when you're doing, say for example, the family portraits. So, you know, there's a lot of people, it's really loud. Sometimes we're taking family portraits at the reception. And so instead of saying, okay guys, I need you all to move over to the left, and they're all looking at me going, we can't hear you. I'll say, I don't even have to actually say it. Save your voice. When it's really loud, when you have a big group, just use your, and don't say like point, so they know exactly what they need to do, and they can look at you and say, oh, we need to go that way. So using your hands to guide them, and specifically by pointing. If I want them to come to me, I'm really exaggeratedly using my hands to say, come toward me, or go back this way, so that they know exactly what they need to do. When it comes to posing, you want to be very specific. So if you want them to, for example, turn their head and bring their chin forward and then down, say that. As specific as you can be, the better. You want the client to know exactly what they need to do so that they're not looking at the photo later and wishing you would have told them that they needed to lean a little bit forward, or, you know, move their arm away from their body, or bend their leg closest to the camera. All those little details make a big difference. And so never be afraid to speak up. There's obviously a way to say something. You know, you want to say it kindly and still with assertion, but in a way that's non-offensive. But you want to be informative and let them know, hey, look, this is what's going to make your image better, so that they can get the best possible images that they can. Keep in mind that your tone can influence the final outcome of the image. So if you want them to be very calm and you want them to have a soft expression, you might want to consider lowering your voice. Whereas if you want them to be very joyful and very energetic, say, all right guys, we're gonna come over here and you're gonna jog through the forest and we're gonna do these things and we're gonna have fun. And you can see that even as just a feeling that you get from my voice. So you want your actual tone to be given to them in the way that you want the image to feel and look, because that will be reflected back to you in the same way that a pose would be reflected back to you if you're mirroring it. When you're looking at the client as they're posing, I want you to pay very particular attention to their hands. Hands are such a giveaway. Hands can let you know if someone is nervous. For example, if, you know, she is touching his face and it's very tense or very tight, Maybe she's not really, relaxed in that moment. And in order for things to feel very natural, as if you weren't there photographing them, sometimes they need a little guidance. Or if I say, rest your hand on the rail, and she places her hand, I'll say soften it up, or just use ballet hands where they just, kind of gently touch. So really pay attention to hands, so that way you know that every aspect of the image looks nice and natural. As you're photographing a client, you're given the opportunity to really get to know who they are and understand their personality. So as you're walking around with them and you're having conversations, I want you to pay particular attention to their personality. Are they very bubbly? Are they a little bit more reserved? Are they calm? Are they loud? And how can you reflect that into their images? I can think of two different couples. One where they were very cool, calm, collected, and so as I'm posing them, I'm posing them side by side. Maybe they're leaning back on a wall. They're just kind of chilling, hanging out with each other. And then I might have another couple where, he's picking her up and doing tricks on the walls of the swamp here in Louisiana. And so, I let them be who they are. And in some of the photos of that second couple, I literally have him walking on the rails and her walking on the rails, and they're holding hands and, interacting with their environment, because that's who they are in real life. The more you can reflect the couple's true personality and not have them fitting into a box, I guarantee you the more they're gonna like those images, because they're gonna feel like you got to know them and created a very custom, catered experience to reflect who they are as people. At the beginning of each session, I will ask the couple if there's anything that they're self-conscious about. It could be something that they want to express in terms of, we do or don't like this pose, or it could be something that they don't want to show, like, I don't like, this side of my face as much as this side of my face, or, oh, I have some acne on my face, can you Photoshop that out? Like, I think opening the floor for those types of conversations really gives you a better chance of making them happy, because you know what to look for. You're not going to necessarily pose that client if she doesn't like her profile shot doing a bunch of photos looking to the side, right? Like, you want to do and honor what their preferences are, so that they love their pictures in the end. One thing that you also want to do when photographing the client is to make sure that their arms, especially for the females, are not pressed up against their body. A nice relaxed sort of pose is always going to look better if you can create gaps in their arm relationship, whether it's like in their arm relationship to their body, whether it's from the front or from the side. Having that little bit of gap and separation is going to do wonders in terms of the final image. And the last tip I want to give you in regards to posing is going to be to use their names and to use the names of everyone around them as much as possible. So I challenge you, the next time you're photographing a wedding, to try to remember, and I know it's hard, as many people in the wedding party and family as you can. The ability for you to say, okay, Mark, I need you to take one step closer to John. Sounds so much better than, excuse me, you sir next to the side of the groom, do you mind moving a little bit closer to the groom? Do you see the difference there? I guarantee, of all the weddings that we photographed, and we photographed a bunch, over 500 at this point, one of our most received compliments is, thank you so much for remembering our names. It's a very simple thing that you can do to really up-level your client experience, and it will absolutely help your posing and your final images in the end. If you want to download our free posing guide, don't forget to download that in the description below. And before we wrap up this video, I'm very quickly going to run through the things that we talked about today. So first is going to be to use yourself as a mirror so that they can reflect what you're saying when you're posing them. Second is going to be to show them exactly how you want them to pose by using your own body. You can show them what you need them to do so that they perfectly understand. Use your hands to point and guide your client so they know where to go and what to do. Be specific. Show them exactly the technique if you need them to lower their head or bend their leg. Be very specific in your directions. Use your tone to influence the pose, whether you want it to be loud and fun or soft and sovereign. Use your tone to reflect the mood that you want the energy and the vibe to be in the photo. Pay attention to their hands. The hands are very telling, and you want them to be relaxed and natural feeling in the image. Be observant of their personality so that you can reflect exactly who they are in the images. Open the floor to talk about anything that they might be self-conscious about or any preferences that they have so that you know what they want in their final images. Be sure to create gaps in regards to their arm positioning in relationship to the body so that they can look the best that they possibly can in their images. And create points of connection specifically in knowing the client's name, as well as the names of their friends and family around them. I wish you the absolute best on your posing journey. If you'd like to check out my top go-to poses for wedding days, be sure to visit that in the description below. I also would love for you to consider joining our membership community. You can find all the details about that in our educational shop in the description below. If you'd like to see more of these YouTube videos, be sure to subscribe. I hope to continue to bring you more value-based content. I appreciate you being here so much, and happy shooting. Thank you for joining today. Bye.